Hello students, good morning. This is your English teacher. Hope all of you are well. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, and that is tag questions in English. It is very easy and interesting. Listen to me carefully and let's get started. Do we know what are tag questions? Tag questions are short questions at the end of a sentence. We use tag questions both in spoken English and in informal written English. For example, she is pretty, isn't she? Can you tell me which part is the tag question here? Yes, you're absolutely right. Isn't she? This part is the tag question here. For another example, he isn't smart, is he? Which part is the tag question here? Is he? Now, we are going to see the formation of tag questions. Actually, tag questions are used when asking for agreement or confirmation. So, it may be a positive statement or a negative statement. For a positive statement, the tag will be negative. For example, you are a student, aren't you? We can clearly see that if the statement is a positive one, the tag will be negative. On the contrary, if the statement is a negative one, it will take a positive tag question. For example, Mira isn't a teacher, is she? As the statement is negative, the tag question is affirmative. Now, we are going to discuss the rules of the formation of tag questions. Rule number 1. Auxiliary verbs. If the sentence has an auxiliary verb, we repeat it in the tag question. And we already know if the statement is affirmative, it will take a negative tag question. For example, birds can fly. The tag will be can't they? For another example, Rafiq is reading a book. In this sentence, is the auxiliary verb. So it will take the negative form in the tag question, and as the subject of the statement was Rafiq, the subject of the tag will be the pronoun he. Again, if the statement is a negative one, it will take a positive tag question. For example, he hasn't done his homework. Can you tell me what the tag will be? Yes, it will be has he. For another example, he didn't go there. The tag will be did he? Next comes rule number 2. Be as a main verb. If the sentence has be as a main verb, we repeat it in the tag question. We know that the be verb may be am, is, are, was, were, according to the subject and its number. It will take different forms of the be verb. For example, if the statement is affirmative, the tag will be negative. He is intelligent. The tag will be isn't he? For another example, the film was good. We can clearly guess what the tag will be. It will be wasn't it? On the contrary, if the statement is a negative one, it will take positive tag question. For example, you earned well. Are you? We see that the verb aren't in the statement will be in the positive form in the tag question, and you, the subject of the statement, will remain the same in the tag question. For another example, Clara wasn't at her table. The tag will be was she? There are an exception. I am late. What the tag will be? Amn't I? Oh no, it will never be amn't I. It will be aren't I? This is very crucial. Please keep it in mind. Next comes rule number 3. No auxiliary verb in the present indefinite tense. If the sentence has no auxiliary verb and it is in the simple present tense, the tag question uses do or does. For example, if the statement is affirmative, we know that the tag will be negative. For example, you play football, don't you? You see, here we cannot see any auxiliary verb, but do verb is hidden there, and it will take the negative form in the tag question. It will be don't you? For another example, she lives in Dhaka. The tag will be doesn't she? Is it correct? Yes, it is, because in the statement the verb is lives. So does verb is used there as the auxiliary verb. So it is hidden, but it will take place in the negative form in the tag question. For a negative statement, the tag will be positive. For example, you don't know the matter. You see, the do verb is no longer hidden here because in the negative form we use don't. So the tag will be positive. It will be do you? For another example, Clara doesn't live in London. Does she? Yes, the tag will be does she, because in the statement does auxiliary verb is used in the negative form, so it will take the affirmative form in the tag question, and she will be used as the pronoun of Clara in the subject of the tag question. Next comes rule number 4. No auxiliary verb in the past indefinite tense. If the sentence has no auxiliary verb and it is in the simple past tense, the tag question uses did or didn't. Let's see some examples. If the statement is affirmative, then what will be the tag? For example, Della went to the party. Went is the simple past tense of go. So did verb is hidden there. And as it is in the affirmative form, we don't use did. But it will take place in the negative form in the tag question. It will be didn't she? For another example, she lived in Dhaka. The tag will be didn't she? Because did is not seen there, as lived is used in the past tense in the statement. In the tag question, the verb will be didn't and the tag will be didn't she? For a negative statement, the tag will be positive. For example, he didn't work yesterday. As the auxiliary verb didn't is used in the statement, it will be used in the positive form in the tag question, and it will be did he? For another example, Claudius didn't admit his guilt. Did he? Yes, you're absolutely right. Didn't is used in the negative form in the statement, so it will take the positive form in the tag question. Next comes rule number 5. Question tags with imperatives. Do we know which are the imperative sentences? Yes, we know. If the sentence is imperative and expresses order, command, or request, the tag is will you? For example of affirmative imperative, we can say wait here a moment. The tag will be will you? For example, we can also say please open the window. The tag will be will you? Give me a pen. What will be the tag? Yes, you're right. It will be will you? Oh, hurry up. Will you? Am I right? Yes, I am, because we already know that in the affirmative imperative sentence, the tag question will be will you? Let's see some example of negative imperative. For example, don't make a noise. Will you? So we see that both in imperative, affirmative imperative and negative imperative, the tag will be will you? For another example, don't forget your key. Will you? Next comes rule number 6. Question tags with let's. Let's is a contracted form of let us. Let's plus verb is used to make a suggestion or proposal. In these cases, shall we is used as tag question. For example, let's listen to the radio. What will be the tag? Yes, you're right. Shall we? For another example, let's go out for a walk. Shall we? But remember, if the statement expresses permission, the tag is will you? For example, let them play here. Will you? For another example, let them come in. Will you? Okay, students, that's all for tag questions. Thank you so much for your patience hearing.